What's up, truck drivers? It's Kenny again. Wanted to get this little review out here. I'll probably post something that's more in depth at some point, but I just wanted to do a quick review just so I could have something out here for you guys. I bought this Rand McNally TND 750 a few weeks ago because my TND 740 that I've been using for about, I don't know, a little over a year, finally crapped the bed. And there's some things that people need to know about this new model, this TND 750, and this new Rand McNally 2.0 software that they're using now. It's garbage, guys. The 740 had the old Rand McNally software on it, okay? And so my company pre-installs a Garmin in these trucks, and because that's what our logs are on and stuff like that, is this Garmin through a Blue Tree system. But anyway, when I first started here, I was using that, and I had some issues with the navigation on the Garmin. Another guy recommended the Rand McNally, and the Rand McNally's navigation on this 740, that old navigation system, was fantastic compared to the Garmin that we have in these trucks. Garmin got me like into some bad spots a few times, and the Rand McNally was totally fucking solid for me the whole time I was using it. So when this finally crapped the bed, I felt pretty comfortable buying the Rand McNally, the 750, and I was like, okay, well, they've updated the software, so maybe it'll be even better. Well, I gotta tell you, this Rand 2.0 software, the routing on it is horrible, guys, and unless they get it fixed, it hasn't been out very long, so they may fix it, and I'm planning on calling them on the phone today to bitch about it. But I gotta tell you, there's some serious issues with the routing in this new software. Just going to list off a few things. Like, first of all, I just want to say that one of the missing features that really bugs me in this new software is that, like, say I'm planning out my trip and I put in my final destination, okay, and then I add in a stop, a truck stop or whatever, a fuel stop. I cannot then look and see how long it's going to be till I get to my final destination. In order to see the total time it's going to take on the trip, I have to cancel that stop, and then it'll tell me. The problem with that is that if my company says I have to fuel at X fuel stop, and then I enter that in as a stop and it has to reroute, it might take me longer to get to that final destination now. And I can't look and see if that's the case, because in order to see the total trip, I have to cancel that stop, and then it reroutes, so I don't even know if it's routing me a longer direction. So that sucks, okay? Other than that, the features themselves in the unit seem good. But so with that said, let's talk about the navigation, guys, the actual routing of this new software. So just about every single time I say, let's add a stop, I'm going to fuel at this truck stop, just about every single time, the GPS tells me I need to pass the exit of the truck stop, I've seen it go as far as 15 miles past the exit, turn around, come back up the freeway to 15 miles to get to the truck stop. And that's not just like a one time that it just did that once for whatever reason. That's like every single time. So every single time I input a truck stop, it's maybe not done it twice. All the rest of the times in the 3 weeks that I've been using it, it does it. And so the only way around it is to then zoom out and find the truck stop and zoom in and see if it's fucking up, and then you have to like physically zoom in on the exit you need and place a pin and say go here, and then when you actually take the exit, cancel that so that it then routes you correctly. It's a pain weird spot, like in between three freeways with a bunch of roads, and you're not really all that sure which exit is the right one to take, then you're just screwed. You got to either just kind of guess at it, or you got to open trucker path and see what exit that says it is, which sometimes it doesn't tell you, and then find that exit and put a pin there and then hope that it routes you. I did it the other night at this Blind J. It was kind of a confusing one, and once I took the exit and then skipped it, man, it tried to do all kinds of crazy stuff. It wanted me to get on, to go over here and get on another freeway and go down 5 miles and turn around and come back and exit off and do a loop-de-loop to get to the goddamn truck stop. I mean, the routing is ridiculous, and it does that every single truck stop. I mean, imagine what it's going to do when I go to some messed up spot in New Jersey or something, you know. And then, you know, so far the routing from, you know, the long distance routing as far as freeways and stuff has been okay, you know, but and for the most part, the routing to shippers and receivers has been not too bad. But yesterday, I had to pick up a load in Wisconsin, and oh my God, the routing, like it made me exit, and then instead of keeping me on the main thoroughfares until I got to where I needed to turn off to go to the shipper, man, it tried to put me on a residential street. It had me making a right into a residential area, and then a left, and then a left through, I shit you not, it tried to take me on a 1-lane driveway through a cemetery to get to the goddamn shipper. And so, you know, I saw when I got over there, first of all, as soon as I made the right, and this is crazy, and I shit you not, like it's telling me make a right, but as soon as I made a right, it said, weight violation. I'm like, okay, you told me to turn here, you don't know that it's a weight violation? So then once I get in there and I see the cemetery road that it tries to track me down, I'm like, oh, hell no. You know, I ain't even trying that. I'm already in a no truck zone. So then I go on down, and I'm looking, I'm zooming into the map, and I'm finding the bigger roads, and so I zoom down, and it tries to do all kinds of crazy shit. Every time it recalculates, it's trying to route me back to that cemetery road. And so I finally get there, after being on like 3-4 different no truck zone streets. I finally get over there, and when I get to there, I set my destination going back out, and it tries to put me through that damn cemetery again. And so I set a permanent avoid. I set a permanent avoid in the software, okay, on the cemetery. I was like, permanently avoid this street. So I go, then I'm finished getting loaded, I'm ready to take off. It's routing me some stupid shit again. I'm having to like zoom in to figure out what my best way back to the freeway is. And it tries to put me through the cemetery again when it's recalculating. And I'm like, I set a permanent avoid in there so that you wouldn't send me on that road, and it's still trying to send me through all that shit. Now, in the 3 weeks, that's the first time that I've had that kind of a situation when I'm actually going to a shipper or a receiver. But it does crazy shit every single time I try to go to a truck stop. So, don't buy it. I mean, I'm sorry, but it's garbage until they fix whatever's going on with it, assuming they ever do fix it. Don't buy it. I mean, I'm actually like, I'm going to try to call them today. And if I can actually get somebody on phone besides the receptionist, which I talked to last time I had an issue, and just everything else sent me to voicemail. If I can finally get somebody on the phone, I'm going to tell them, you got 30 days. You got 30 days to make this thing work right. And if it don't, I'm done. Because, you know, I have traditionally stayed with the Rand McNally stuff because I like the navigation better. And if the navigation is not working properly, who cares that it's got 3D buildings and all of this stuff, that this extra fluff that they've added in there? None of us care about that. We want it to navigate correctly. You know, you get the navigation working that because the navigation was really great on that 740. But now, looking at this Rand 2.0, if they don't fix that, you know, I'm going to give it a little while because it's new. So maybe, I assume that sooner or later they will work the bugs out. But until then, what? I'm just supposed to fight this thing all the time? I mean, that ain't right. I mean, you know, in the technology world, what needed to happen was they needed to have a beta test group. So they select 20, 30, however many truck drivers. They give them the unit to test. They report the problems. Then they fix the problems before they release the device. But they obviously did not do that, or we wouldn't be having these problems. So, as for right now, I would say don't buy it. Like I said, I'm going to try to put a more in-depth one up if they give me a hard time when I call them, or if they don't fix it within my time frame. I'm going to put something more in-depth up and actually show images of what it's doing. But for now, I just wanted to have something out there immediately to say this thing is not working correctly. It's not, and it's not just me. You know, there's reviews out there. Look at the Amazon reviews. Look at the reviews. I mean, I'll tell you another thing. If you go and you search Rand McNally TND 750, or you search Rand 2.0 on YouTube, you will see that they have disabled the comments on all of the YouTube videos. So in other words, they know. They know. Excuse me. People were going on to their comment sections and telling them how shitty it was, and instead of fixing it or interacting with them or doing something to make it right, they just disabled the comments. And that just that rubs me the wrong way big time. So Rand McNally TND 750, or really any device of theirs that has the Rand 2.0 software in it, I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't waste your money, because, you know, right now, you know, I spent $400 on this, and it's too late for me to give it back to the Loves, and you know, I got no recourse. So pretty much I got to buy something different, either buy a refurbished TND 740 so that I can have the good one back, or switch to Garmin. And don't get yourself in that situation.